So as we study the close guard position, we went over on how to attack your opponent from using the side close guard, the side scissors. You can either attack the sweep, the back take, and use the off balances to attack submissions. I want to take the time to go over on how to set up the armbar from this position and how you can use the top lock, the position, how you lock your opponent's shoulder to use in a combination with the sweeps that we did previously. So, as we get your opponent in the close guard, as we learn in the beginners classes, how to set up the armbar is by going across your opponent's elbow, bring it over your center line, break down his posture to climb with your legs. Now you can then move and get the angle to pass your leg over, press down with your legs, and reach up to finish the armbar. While it's not a bad position and not a bad setup, as your opponent gets better and better, they will know to identify the moment you go across that the armbar is coming. So if they manage to bring their elbow towards the outside, you miss the armbar. We're going to use a different position to lock your opponent's posture in place. It's called the top lock, where you go with your hand across your opponent's collar and you're going to grab the wrist. So now it will be hard for him to pull his wrist away. Even if you manage to get the wrist outside the elbow, you can just lock your opponent's sleeve and you can lock the posture. Instead of focusing on locking the armbar, you're going to focus on locking his shoulder first and then attack the armbar. So what you want to do is control the posture by going here. You bring one leg on the hip to block his shoulder and to block his elbow. Now the second leg will go on top to break down the posture. Now you want to climb and close a top lock, where you bring your leg across your opponent's back. So now in this position, you see that I lock the leverage of the armbar. Of course you can finish an armbar here, but it will be hard for you because your opponent can still posture up. If you try to close the elbow, you can now use modified Americana to, instead of straightening up his hand, you're going to bring it across to the side. So you have an Americana shaped lock here. So you're going to bridge your hips and bring it down. That's a really strong lock. So when you manage to lock the position here, if you want to attack the elbow, you go two hands on the wrist, then move to the side, push with your legs to one side, and then bring his arm to the other side. The most common reaction for him is to straighten up his arm. When you straight up the arm, you can lock his elbow in place, get his head down, push him to the side, and throw your leg over. So now you can use the same position by pressing down with your leg and bridge up. Again. As you can see here, we start in the close guard, we managed to get the collar and the sleeve. We're gonna move his elbow, we're gonna lock the position in place, and because I grab the collar here, I can always break down the posture. Doesn't matter how strong he is, it stretches his posture up. Doesn't matter how strong he is, as long as I grab two collar across, sleeve and collar, I can always bring my leg and lock him here. The moment I catch the shoulder, I can now close the guard on top of his shoulder and I can see what's opening up. If he's trying to defend his arm because he knows the armbar is coming, I can always get two hands on the wrist, move one leg to the side and push down. If you try to defend this position by straightening up his head, I can lock the hand on top of my chest, push his head away, move my hips, press down with your heels to the mat, and then finish the armbar from here. This position also helps us to use the pendulum sweep, the hip up, and other options that we're going to see in the following video, because this position blocks his way to defend this side. So I can always grab the pan grip or scoop under to now break his posture down to the shoulder. I can now use the same position to go on top by opening up my leg and finishing a hip bump position movement, or I can now switch and finish in an armbar position where I scoop his leg, pass my leg over, and now I can attack the armbar from an armbar position. Of course, you can use the same position by locking up his elbow. So instead of attacking, you can now readjust and expose the back. If you try to defend the back, as we did previously, you can lock the shoulders And now you have the top lock. Go for the Americana, to the armbar, or to use it as a sweep to break down his posture. Every time you break down his posture, your opponent faces a dilemma. He has to think, do I give him the sweep and then he exposed the arm to attacks or to the back, or give me the sweep and now I can attack the sweep, and because he wants to defend the attack. So if he doesn't give me the sweep, I can go for the submission. If he doesn't give me the submission, I can go for the sweep. So there's no good option for him. There's a less worst option for him. So keep that in mind. So if you want to attack the submission, try to focus on the top lock first in order to break down the posture, and then you can use it to set up attacks, sweeps, or back attacks. Give it a try. 1, 2.